Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us today. My name is Angela Wolf, and I'm a financial literacy trainer here at Access Credit Union. We wanted to host a short webinar about budgeting, as we know now more than ever, financial circumstances are changing for members of our community, and budgeting is an important tool, not only at times like this, but always. Access Credit Union implemented a financial literacy program back in 2017 called Each One Teach One. This program was created by Vancity Credit Union in 2008 and is an award-winning program that offers workshops to educate members of the community on basic financial skills. There is no selling of products or services during our presentations. We currently have 21 staff members trained in order to facilitate our workshops, and I'm very happy to be bringing our budgeting workshop to you today. A few housekeeping items before we get started. First of all, thank you to all of you who submitted questions in advance. We have made sure to incorporate the answers to your questions throughout the presentation. If we cannot get to everything today, or if you have a specific question about your personal situation, please contact your financial institution after this presentation. With that, we will jump right in. A few of the things we will go over today include what a budget is and why you should create one, tips to help you reach your financial goals, and ideas to help you adjust your spending. A budget is a detailed list of your expected income and planned spending for each month, or if you choose, another time period like a week or 2 weeks. It is a tool to ensure that you don't spend more than you have. Why should you create a budget? To help you understand where you spend your money, to protect and prepare you for possible financial difficulties, and to save for expensive items. Identifying the difference between needs and wants empowers you to choose the wants that are most rewarding to you. Everyone's needs and wants are going to be different. An example that often comes up is making coffee at home versus picking it up at a drive-thru. These are little expenses that can add up and make a difference in your budget. For example, making coffee from home may cost you roughly $15 per month, whereas picking up a basic coffee daily from a drive-thru will cost you around $30 a month. If we look at yearly savings, you could save almost $200 per year by making coffee at home. A budget will show you exactly where your money is going, so you can consciously adjust what you spend it on. If you have a budget, you can make spending decisions without feeling guilty when you buy something that is not a need. All right, so now that we know why we should budget, let's break down the steps. Making a budget may take some time the first time you do it, but it will get easier and faster to do on a regular basis. The first step is to figure out your monthly income. If you have regular income, you likely get paid bi-weekly, twice monthly, or monthly. One thing to remember is that if you get paid bi-weekly, you will actually have 26 pay periods in a year, not 24. If you have seasonal or irregular income, it may make budgeting a little more difficult, but it is even more important. A good tip would be to figure out what your normal amount is, or the average. For example, if most months you make $2,000, but in some months you only make $1,800, and in others you make $2,200, you could budget your income as $2,000 a month. Another way to budget an irregular income is to be very safe and put your income at the lowest you usually make, so that you budget to spend no more than your income in your lowest earning months. This means that in months you make more, you'll have extra money left over to spend on fun things, put in your savings, or use to pay off debt. Now that we've figured out our income, we need to figure out where we are spending our money. You have a few options here. If you use mostly credit and debit, you can take your previous 3 months of statements, which can either be found on your online banking, they may be mailed to you each month, or can be obtained by contacting your financial institution. You want to go through each statement and highlight different spending categories as shown on the slide. For example, green may indicate vehicle expenses, so you can see purchases for gas and car repairs that have been highlighted green. Similarly, the yellow highlighted purchases are gifts, or money that you've spent on others. Start with one category at a time and go through and add up everything you spend that falls under the category, and continue doing this until all items are accounted for. Total each category you've added up to see how much you spend in a month on that type of purchase. When you compare more than 1 month, you can determine an average amount that is spent, as some months may be higher or lower than others. If you need a reminder or more information about this method, we have instructions on our website under budgeting tools called Highlighter Handout. Please remember, when creating a budget, some of your expenses will incur on a monthly basis, whereas some will be more frequent. It's important that you use the same time frame for each expense when making your budget. If you mostly use cash rather than debit or credit, you could ask for a receipt each time you make a purchase. At the end of the day, or at least once a week, group your purchases by type: eating out, entertainment, clothes, etc. Create categorized envelopes to organize receipts. At the end of the month, add up all the receipts in each envelope. It's also important to note that some of your expenses are going to be fixed expenses and some are going to be variable. Examples of fixed expenses are your mortgage or rent payments, as they don't often change. Variable expenses, on the other hand, are going to fluctuate, like your grocery bill or what you spend on entertainment. Your variable expenses are the ones that you will be able to make changes to easily in your budget. Many people are surprised to see where their money is actually being spent. You'll know where to adjust your spending if you're not making ends meet. If your envelope for coffee and snacks has receipts for over $100 in a month, that tells you that you could probably save at least $50 a month if you brought coffee from home or got it at your workplace. Now that we've figured out our income and our expenses, we can calculate the difference. If you prefer to do this by hand, you absolutely can. There are also a ton of great resources out there to help you with this. For instance, if you visit our website, we have a fillable PDF and Excel spreadsheet that you can edit and make your own. It will do all of the calculations for you. We will go through this spreadsheet at the end of the presentation. If there's an amount left over or surplus when you have input all your information, you can allocate more funds to savings or other goals that you have. If you're going to be successful in reaching your goal, you have to make reasonable changes to your spending and to your budget. For instance, if you spend $300 a month eating out, it's not reasonable to just decide that you won't spend that money anymore unless you are committed to always cooking at home. However, a more reasonable goal may be to reduce the amount spent out eating by $100 a month, and instead put that toward the goal of a down payment on a house or whatever your goal is. Once some achievable goals have been set, keep in mind how much money you are able to contribute each month, which needs have not been getting enough of the budget, and which wants have been draining your funds. If, for instance, your goal is to pay down debt, a good plan may be to start with the debt that you are paying the highest interest on, while still making sure you're at least making minimum payments on all the other debt. Once that one has been paid down, you can allocate the previous payment amount to your remaining debts, so they will be paid down even faster. For those of you whose main goal it is to become debt-free, we have a worksheet on our website called Making a Plan to be Debt-Free, which you can use to help you achieve this goal. Once you've completed your first budget, you aren't done. A budget is something that needs to be reviewed regularly, especially when things change in your life that have a financial impact. If you get a raise at work, for instance, you need to allocate these new funds somewhere. Some people like to set reminders in their phone for the end of each month to sit down and review their budget. As you get more familiar, perhaps you only have to do this every 3 months. Step 7 is actually a bonus tip. Did you know that you can have multiple savings accounts for your goals? Watching the funds increase in your special savings account can give you a sense of accomplishment and make it even easier to save money as you get closer to reaching your goal. Once you've reached your savings goal and either spent that money or put it into your retirement savings plan, if that was your goal, you'll be even more inspired to create a new goal using the same special savings account. Success leads to more success. Pre-authorized contributions or automatic transfers are a great way to make sure you will meet your goals. If you've allocated $50 in your budget to your vacation fund on a bi-weekly basis, you can set up an automatic transfer to your savings account on the day you get paid so that you don't forget. This takes a lot of work off your plate. If you have questions about how to set up automatic transfers, please call your financial institution. If you bank with us, you can log in to your online banking and set up a recurring transfer there. I've included an image from one of our resources that can be found on our website, accesscu.ca, under the Tools tab. This is called the Zero-Based Budget because every dollar should be accounted for when you're finished. As you can see, it walks you through all the steps we have talked about today, and it will also auto-populate for you so you don't have to do any calculations. As I mentioned earlier, there is also an Excel spreadsheet that you can download and customize to your needs, so I encourage you to check out these resources online. And this is what our resource page looks like. And there is also another website for under the Government of Canada, and it's called, it's a budget planner. And you just need to search FCAC Budget Planner, as seen on the slide here. I want to close by saying that keeping track and making a plan of where you want your money to go is very important when wanting more financial freedom. I encourage you to reach out to your financial institution whenever you have questions. We're all here to help. Again, thank you for attending. Stay safe and please let us know if you have any questions.